28 May 2021 Morning Murli Om Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, because your intellects hold the knowledge you have received from the Father of the beginning, the middle and the end of the world, you are called spinners of the discus of self-realization. Question: what injection does the spiritual Father give you spirits to purify you? Answer: that of Manmanabhav. No one but the spiritual Father can give this injection. The Father says, sweet children, remember me, that's all. It is only by having this remembrance that you souls become pure. There is no need to study Sanskrit, etc. for this. The Father speaks to you in plain Hindi. When you spirits have the faith that the spiritual Father is giving you methods to become pure, you will continue to renounce the vices. Om Shanti. The meaning of Om Shanti has been explained to the children. The soul gives his own introduction. My form is peace, and my residence is the land of peace, which is also known as the supreme abode. The land beyond sound means nirvana. The Father says, renounce body consciousness, become soul conscious, and remember the Father. He is the purifier. No one knows that they are a soul and that they have come here to play their part. The drama is now coming to an end and we have to return home. This is why Baba says, remember me and your sins will be absolved. In the Sanskrit language, this is known as Manmanabhav. The Father did not say anything to you in Sanskrit. He only explains in this Hindi language. The government wants there to be just the one language of Hindi. In fact, the Father too only explained in Hindi. However, at this time, because there are many religions, sects and cults, many different languages have been created. In the golden age, there aren't many different languages as there are here. Those who live in Gujarat have a different language. Whichever village people live in, they have their own language. There are innumerable human beings and innumerable languages. In the golden age, there was just the one religion and one language. You children now have the knowledge of the beginning, the middle and the end of the world in your intellects. This is not mentioned in any of the scriptures. There are no scriptures that contain this knowledge. Neither has the accurate duration of the cycle been written in them, nor do they contain any knowledge about it. There is just the one world. The world cycle continues to turn. The new world becomes old and the old world becomes new. This is called the discus of self-realization. Those who do have knowledge of the cycle are called spinners of the discus of self-realization. The soul has the knowledge of how this world cycle turns. They have then portrayed Krishna and Vishnu with a discus of self-realization. The Father now explains they didn't have any knowledge. Only the Father gives you the knowledge of the beginning, the middle and the end of the world. This is the discus of self-realization. The discus is nothing to do with the violence of cutting throats. All that they have written is lies. No one apart from the Father can give you this knowledge. Since even Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar are called deities, human beings can never be called God. The praise of the Father cannot be the praise of deities. The Father teaches you Raj Yoga. You cannot say that the children should have the same praise as that of the Father. Children are those who take rebirth. The Father doesn't take rebirth. Children remember Their father, the highest on high, is God. He is ever pure. Children became pure and then became impure. The father is always pure. The children definitely need the father's inheritance. Firstly, you want liberation and then liberation in life. The land of peace is called liberation and the land of happiness is called liberation in life. Everyone receives liberation, whereas only those who study this knowledge receive liberation in life. There truly was liberation in life in Bharat. All the rest were in the land of liberation. There was just the land of Bharat in the golden age. It used to be the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. Baba has explained the maximum number of temples have been built to Lakshmi and Narayan. Birla and others who built those temples do not know how Lakshmi and Narayan received their kingdom or for how long they ruled that kingdom or where they went afterwards. They don't know anything at all. That is like worshipping dolls. It is called devotion. Those who are worthy of worship then became worshippers. There is a big difference between being worthy of worship and a worshipper. There must be some meaning to this. Those who indulge in vice are called impure. Those who became angry are not called impure. Those who indulge in vice are called impure. You receive the nectar of knowledge at this time. Only the one Father is the ocean of knowledge. Baba has explained this Bharat was Satpradhan, the most elevated land, whereas it is now Tamapradhan. This is now in your intellects. There is no kingdom here. It is the rule of the people by the people. In the golden age, there are very few people. There are now so many. Preparations for destruction are being made. Delhi has to become the land of angels, but no one knows this. They think that this is New Delhi, who will change this old world. No one knows this. It is not even written in any of the scriptures. Only the one Father explains everything. You children are now making preparations for the new world. You are changing from shells into diamonds. Bharat was so solvent. There were no other religions. There are now innumerable religions. Everyone now remembers the merciful Father. They have forgotten that Bharat was the land of happiness. Look at the condition of Bharat now. It used to be heaven. It is the birthplace of the Father. Therefore, according to the drama, he feels compassion for it. Bharat is the ancient land. It is said, truly 3000 years before Christ, Bharat was heaven and there were no other religions. This Bharat has now completely fallen to the ground. People sing, our land of Bharat was the most elevated. The very name was heaven, Swarg. No one knows the praise of Bharat. Only the Father comes and tells you the story of Bharat. The story of Bharat means the story of the world. This is called the story of the true Narayan. Only the Father sits here and explains that exactly 5000 years ago there used to be the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. Their images still exist, but how did they receive their kingdom? What existed before the golden age? That existed before the confluence age, the iron age. This is the confluence age when the Father has to come. I have to come when the old world has to be made new. I come to purify the impure world. People have said that I am omnipresent and that I come in every age. This is why they are confused. Only you know the confluence age. Who are you? On the board it is written Prajapita, Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris. Who is the father of Brahma? Shiv. the highest on high. After him there is Brahma, and then creation is created through him. Definitely Brahma is called the father of people. Shiv is not called the father of people. Shiv is the incorporeal father of all souls. He comes here and adopts you through Prajapita Brahma. The father explains, I have created this one. You became mouth-born Brahmins through him. I make you into Brahmins through Brahma and then make you into deities. You have now become the children of Brahma. Whose child is Brahma? Is there a name for the father of Brahma? He is incorporeal father Shiv. He comes, enters this one, adopts you and makes you into the mouth-born creation. The father says, I enter this one at the end of the last of his many births. This one belongs to me and adopts renunciation. Renunciation of what? Of the 5 vices. There is no need to renounce your home or family. While living at home with your family, you have to remain pure. Constantly remember me alone and your sins will be absolved. This is the yoga by which the alloy is removed from you and you become Satopradhan. In devotion, no matter how much you bathe in the Ganges, hold sacrificial fires and perform tapasya, you definitely do have to come down. You were Satopradhan and are now Tamopradhan. Therefore, how can you become Satopradhan once again? No one apart from the Father can show you this path. The Father tells you everything very easily. Constantly remember me alone. He is speaking to souls. He does not speak to Gujaratis or Sindhis. This is spiritual knowledge, and scriptures, they have physical knowledge. It is the spirit that needs knowledge because it is the spirit that has become impure. It is the soul that requires a spiritual injection. The Father is called the spiritual eternal surgeon. He comes and gives his own introduction. I am your spiritual surgeon. Because you souls are impure, even your bodies have become diseased. At this time, the people of Bharat, that is the whole world, are residents of hell. The Father then explains how you can become residents of heaven. The Father says, I come and make all of you children into residents of heaven. You also understand that you truly were residents of hell. The Iron Age is called hell. It is now the end of hell. At this time, the people of Bharat are in the depths of hell. You cannot call this a sovereignty. They continue to fight and quarrel among themselves. The Father is now making you worthy of going to heaven, and you should therefore obey him. People don't know their own religions, scripture, or their Father. The Father says, it was I, not Shri Krishna, who made you pure from impure. Krishna was the number 1 pure soul. He is also called the ugly and the beautiful one. The Krishna soul has now become ugly by taking rebirth. By sitting on the pyre of lust, souls have become ugly. Why do they show a dark form of Jagadamba? No one knows this. Just as Krishna has been shown dark blue, in the same way they have also portrayed Jagadamba as dark. You are now ugly and will then become beautiful. You can explain that Bharat was very beautiful. If you want to see the beauty of heaven, you can see a model of it in Ajmer. There used to be golden palaces studded with the diamonds in heaven. Now there are palaces of stone. Everyone is Tamopradhan. You children know that Shivbaba and Brahma Dada are together. This is why they are called BapDada. The inheritance is received from Shivbaba. If you say that you receive it from Dada, then what did Shiv hear? The inheritance is received from Shivbaba through Brahma. The land of Vishnu is established through Brahma. It is now the kingdom of Ravan. Everyone apart from you is a resident of hell. You are now at the confluence age. You are now changing from impure to pure. You will then become the masters of the world. It is not a human being who is teaching you all of this, who speaks the Murli to you. Shivbaba, he comes from the supreme region to the old world in an old body. If someone has this faith, he cannot stop himself from coming to meet the Father. He would say, let me first meet the unlimited Father. He wouldn't be able to wait. He would say, take me immediately to the unlimited Father who makes us into the masters of heaven. Let me at least go and see who this chariot of Shivbaba is. Those people decorate a horse. They have a sash as a symbol. That was the chariot of Muhammad who established that relation. The people of Bharat apply a tilak on a bull and place it in a temple. The belief that Shiv rode a bull. Neither Shiv nor Shankar rode a bull. People don't understand anything at all. Shiv is incorporeal. So how could he ride a bull? He would need legs to be able to sit on a bull. That is blind faith. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, drink the nectar of knowledge you receive from the Father and also enable others to drink it. In order to become worthy of worship from a worshipper, renounce the vices. Second point, obey the Father who makes you worthy of going to heaven and do everything he tells you to do. Become one whose intellect has total faith. Blessing. May you be a lucky star by invoking your perfect form and become free from the cycle of coming and going. Explanation. Now invoke your perfect stage and your perfect form, and that form will constantly be in your awareness. You will then become free from the cycle of sometimes having a high stage and sometimes a low stage, the cycle of coming and going, which spins when you repeatedly come into the cycle of sometimes remembering and sometimes forgetting. People want to become free from the cycle of birth and death, whereas you became free from wasteful matters and became a sparkling lucky star. Slogan. To be influenced by any obstacle means that there is a flaw in the diamond. Om Shanti